Hello YouTubers, Steven at the kitchen counter again. Anybody looking for batteries? Anmas Power is actually reliable. These are the lower end cells that I had. I've already made 2 packs. I had like, oh geez, 40, 80 plus these. They got 2441, 2579, 2498, 2325, 2554, 2593, and 2323. Now, let's see if I can get enough light on the subject so you guys can, and that's all covered up. Yeah, I can't even read that. Let's see. I'll get a flashlight. Yeah, that way you guys can see the name. Kind of shaded here. Anmas Power. These are 2600 cells, 26F, Anmas Power. And I can tell you, this is only one cycle, so the lower end cells is most likely gonna be very extremely close. On the website, they pretty much say don't expect any more than 2500 for a minimum. I did catch a cell that was around 2100 and did a couple of cycles on it, and it went up to 23. Now these cells are right around $2.45 per cell. A little pricey, but it definitely beats the cheap junk that you can get out there. These are reliable. You can definitely get, they're not high rate, but you can do 4 amp constant at a 10% voltage drop. To me, that's pretty dang good. So I have a pack. Let me go grab that. Way. Alright, I have a pack. As you guys already know, I'm using 4S. I've changed my setup though. I'm actually running, instead of running a straight long line, I'm grouping the cells in rows. 2, 3, 4, 5. This one is 10P. And I've got them lined together in 5s and then jumped accordingly. None of the grounds are fused. 0. I'm using banding to tie the batteries together. 10 gauge wire to connect to the BMS. This BMS is reliable. It is the 40 amp that crawled out of the woodwork here recently. It will do 43 amp constant. Unlike the 35 amp 4S that's out there on the market, that's got the plug on the end of it and the cable that comes out. I didn't have much luck with those. In fact, they're just straight junk. On the low end, they'll end up draining either cell 1 or cell 4 by an increased amount. I think one of the MOSFETs is actually leaking on that design. I believe it's just a bad design. And the current, I couldn't even get past 17 amp without it shutting down. These, tested. Hooked up a 600 watt inverter to a power supply to charge batteries, and I got 43 amp constant out of the BMS before Well, matter of fact, it didn't even shut down. If you're going to run high current, you will definitely need to add a heat sink to these MOSFETs. Okay, projects ahead. The old battery type that I ran straight in a long row to get my 4S, I'm going to be changing those, I do believe, sometime or another. But this seems to be working out pretty well. I'm quite happy to see that the BMS can actually handle 40 amp. Believe me, because it's needed, especially when you get into those inductive loads. Fridge turning on or AC. I'm actually running a 5K BTU window unit right now on the 1500 watt inverter with my lithium batteries, and it's doing fine, no problem at all. But wanted to let you guys know about these batteries. They are just fine, but as I was saying, if you can see the numbers, the cells that I pulled out are actually the lower value ones. If you buy them in bulk, get them all discharged down to the bottom end, say 2.7, 2.6, 2.8, whichever your preference is, and then charge, then capacity test. You get a better accurate reading from the get-go on that. But I've had a few pop up close to 3,000, and probably about 8 cells out of 160 that turned out to be around the 3,000 milliamp range. Yeah. So if you want new cells and can't afford to buy the Samsung or the higher name brands, and you need capacity, now I do realize Alarm Hookup has all kinds of batteries, but when you need capacity in a small space, you can't use him. He doesn't sell batteries that's this high in capacity very often. Not really sure what I'm going to do about the regulator situation. I may end up changing that.